Hello, I'm the Crafty Ginger. I've been on a long hiatus as I'm 8.5 months pregnant right now and a couple weeks from giving birth to my baby boy. I wanted to show you how to make this really cool lantern. This is an antique light bulb. I got this light kit from Amazon, relatively inexpensive. I will talk about the cost of the project. I have to figure that out, so I'll figure that out. And then this is just macrame knots, a left-handed square knot all the way around, which creates this coil. I'm calling it the DNA light, so because I think it looks like a strand of DNA kind of just rotating. This is super simple. It's just time consuming, so it's the same knot over and over again. This took me like 3 evenings of just working on it. And the biggest thing I would say is cord management, managing your ropes. You can see how much rope I have here. This is just simply to cover the entire length of the cord. So when you get done working on it for a period of time, just wrap up your cords so they don't get all tangled. That's what I would suggest. Okay, for supplies, pretty easy. This is 3/16 inch cotton rope that I got from knotandrope.com, a pair of scissors, and you're going to need about 200 feet of rope. So 200 feet of 3/16 inch cotton rope. And then of course you need your light kit. Here's the light kit that I got, and it just takes a standard light bulb. You don't have to use the antique bulbs, but I found this on Amazon and I will put a link below for you to find it also. I made like a mini mock-up of what you're gonna do here. So you're going to have ropes long enough to cover just the cord. You need 2 ropes at that length, just long enough to cover the cord. Then you have these super long ones that you're going to be working around and around, and the reason they're so much longer is because they're going to be traveling around this bundle of light cord and ropes together, so you need them to be way longer than the other ropes. The center ropes, or the core ropes I'm calling them, those only need to be a little bit longer than your light kit, which mine is 15 feet, so I cut them at 20 feet just to make sure that it would be long enough. So I drew a terribly drawn diagram here. You're going to cut 3 pieces, 2 pieces at 35 feet. They're folded in half, and 1 piece at 120 feet folded in half. This is for a 15-foot length. And I'm cutting some extra just because the one I made originally, I didn't have quite enough cord to get all the way to the plug-in, and it doesn't matter because it's behind a piece of furniture, but you know, you want it to look finished. And then you need 1 piece cut at just 5 feet. My wingspan is exactly 60 inches, so I use my wingspan to measure it. So this is a 5 feet piece of cord, and that's going to be used to make this knot right here at the top. So I have 2 cords that are just over 30 feet. I told you I cut those they're 35 feet, so they're 17.5 feet long, folded in half. These are the centers of all the ropes. What you're gonna do, the only tricky thing about this is trying to manage your cords and trying to keep, have to keep pulling your light kit down so you can keep working toward the top and you're not sitting on the ground all the time. So let's try to get this organized a little bit. So start by just kind of trying to get your ropes arranged around so that you're kind of covering everything up right there. So I'm just holding it with my left hand, trying to scooch it as close to the top as I can. So hold your ropes tight to the top of the base of the light kit here, and then point 1 tail upward. This is the 5 feet piece of rope that I cut. The other piece is going to wrap around your fingers like this. Okay, now we're going to try to capture these ropes in there nice and tightly. So keep wrapping your gathering knot around and around several times, and then pushing this toward the top so it's as close as it can be to the base, so it has like a nice knot there. Okay, now I'm almost to the end of, here's the loop that I had created around my fingers. Take the tail end of that 5 feet piece of rope, put it through there, and then pull up firmly like that, and you can kind of snug it up a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna cut these off just so they're not just hanging there. Get as close as you can. Okay, now we need to identify our longest ropes here. So this might be kind of tricky because these ropes are pretty long, all of them. Okay, so coming to the end of this light kit, we want to make sure our cords, our core cords, cover all the way to this plug-in. That's why I cut them extra long. You can see they do. These aren't being worked. I just cut them a little bit long just in case, because they're, you know, traveling down, and you don't want to cut it exactly that long and then it kind of scrunches up a little bit and your ropes aren't long enough. So here's my 2 longest ropes right here. Now I gotta come back to the top. Again, the hardest thing is the cord management. So just try to, these can't get real tangled because they're so large in diameter, but it's just kind of tricky to keep them from not getting in a giant knot on the ground. Just trying to find the ends here, because you're gonna have to pull the ends through each time you make a knot. So find the ends. Here we are at the top. What you're gonna do here is just a simple left-handed square knot or a right-handed square knot, whichever you prefer. I like left-handed square knot. I just always do it that way. So you're gonna be making like a little L shape right here. I have this in a lot of other videos also. This goes over that little L shape you just made, behind all the core ropes and through. So this is what I'm talking about. You're pulling the end all the way through. Sometimes it'll get a little tangled, but you can usually just kind of like bounce the ropes and it'll untangle most of the time. Okay, now tighten it like that. That's your first square knot. Keep going. Doing the same thing a million times. So I'm going to do about 10 of these, and then I'll come back and show you what it's looking like. You want it to be twisting, of course. So just let it twist, you know, give it a nice little pull. And then as we work our way down, see, like usually I'll be standing initially and then I'll sit into a chair or something. Well, then you're gonna have to move this somehow so that it's like tied around this a couple of times so you can keep working on it. So you're not ending up sitting on the ground, which is okay too if you wanna do that, but. Okay, so now I'm kind of getting in a rhythm here, and it's getting easier to pull the ropes through. They're not really getting tangled now each time. So just realize as you're going along, this will get shorter the closer you get to the end. Obviously, you're not going to be pulling as much rope as you get closer and closer to the end. So it really is just a little bit of tedious pulling like this. You can see how much faster it's already going for me just because I've kind of worked out all those knots. You'll get an occasional knot and just try like bouncing the rope or just untangling it with your hands. It's not going to get real tangly, like I said, because it's such a large diameter rope. And you can also notice that my cord is showing through just a little bit. I'm okay with that. There are white light kits like this one. If you're concerned about that, you know, it wouldn't show quite as much. Okay, and then what I was talking about with twisting it. So let's say that yours isn't very twisty, yours is like that. Well, all you have to do is just naturally twist it like this, and you can keep moving this around as it goes. So I'm not quite to the point where I would need to like move this up, but let's say I was. I'm just gonna show you how I did it. like I would just wrap this around once it gets pretty long, you know, so I can keep working. You don't really need these S hooks at that point. You can just tie this in a loose knot and keep working down the rope so that you can remain in a standing position or sitting position, however you're doing it. And you don't put strain on your back. So your arms will get tired doing this because it's, you know, you're pulling it. My arms get tired doing this. So I'll work on it for an hour or so, give it a break. But like I said, I think I made this other one in about 3 evenings worth of time because I was trying to get it done for a deadline. Just keep going like that all the way around till you get to the this part right here, which is the plug it and the switch to turn it on. And then you're just going to, you're not going to wrap around this. You're not going to continue the square knots around it. You're going to stop right here with the square knot, pull the ropes, start right here with the square knot. Or you can start a whole new one like what we did here if you want. If you've run out of rope, even that would be a good solution. So you could, you know, bind it off, tie these, cut them, and start again with a whole new gathering knot here and finish out the rest of the cord. So just a couple of ideas for you. And let's see, if you lose which place you're at, let's say you're like, oh, I can't remember, you stopped at some point and you're like, I can't remember which side I was working on. It doesn't really matter. So like you could say, oh, I know I started there and followed around if you wanted to, and this is my left working side. It doesn't really matter. You'll find that the knots look the same whether you start with this cord or this cord. So don't worry about losing your place is what I'm trying to say. It's not gonna make a difference. Or if you want to remind yourself, you could put a little piece of tape on the left hand rope, like if you're going away, okay, here, I know this is the one that I was working with last, and you could just pull it out of the way. Just a couple tips for you. You can see that it's like pretty time consuming, even for me. I've done this a lot. I've done a lot of knots like this, but it's fun, and you can just do it while watching TV or listening to an audiobook or something. And then you have a gorgeous light to put in your house somewhere. Okay, I just wanted to tell you about product costs. So for this light kit, I purchased this from Amazon.com. I'll put a link in the video description. Hopefully you can find something similar. This was $16, and I have Amazon Prime. I had free shipping. So let's say $20, $25 for shipping and cost of this light kit. And then this rope is from knotandrope.com. It's 3/16 inch and we need 200 feet. That's $14 in rope supplies. So relatively low cost, and you have a chic looking light like this that looks cool, and you can make your own DNA light at home. Thank you for watching. Follow me on Instagram, crafty_ginger. Tag me in your posts so I can see what you've been up to. Thanks for watching. Bye.